I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah, I don't have no time to be playing games. No, no playing games. Nah, no playing games. It's not about money. Nah, it's not about things. Not about prestige and titles. Not at all. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. I am an instrument of praise. I am an instrument of praise. I learned the weapon, I'm a pro. I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed, not at all. I am not ashamed. When it's time for war, I gotta get back and let it bang. On my I can stand up. It's real. Royalty in our blood. We is real. Looking for the lost sheep. It's real. Let them know there's only one power. He for Israel. Yeah. It's not a game. I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah. I don't have no time to be playing games. No. No playing games. Nah. No playing games.
Sometimes I'm insane, thoughts locked in my brain, like locked in a cage. Been 30 years, man, won't forfeit this game. I pray for a change when face the east pain. Why things be the same? My tears fall like rain. Sometimes I give up, my flesh be like fuck, like karma, bad luck. But I'm a Hebrew, no time for Hindu. Reap what you so brew, my heart be so true. Misunderstood, bro. Life can be so cruel. Seems like I go through same lessons Hebrew.
I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah, I don't have no time to be playing games. No, no playing games. Nah, no playing games.
Yeah, they freed us from the shackles round the ankles. Yeah. All these chains on a nigga mind. Am I really blind? Are we really faithful? Yeah. Cause real love is so hard to find from a brother. Most of us don't get it from our mothers. So how we figure that these bitches give a fuck? I don't wasted plenty books on a nut that wasn't even mine. Now I see the book, nigga shit coming from a mile. You can pull that on over to the curb. Drive through clothes, I ain't got no time to serve. I ain't playing games, I ain't working up a nerve. And it's a damn shame, but it just ain't my concern. You niggas better learn something. Yeah.
I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah, I
Shalom, shalom, all praise and glory to YAHAWAH, BaShem, HaMASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Hey, man, I'm getting older, man. The eyes is getting bad, man. I gotta wear the 4 eyes now. It's a wrap. It's over for allowance, okay? All right, man. So you see what it is. You see the title. I'm gonna go through this. Then this is just scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Information I've been dealing with for a minute. And as you know what I'm saying, I've been giving a little teasers out there. Shalom Hezekiah, Kazakwaya, Israel. So I'm just going, we're going to have a study session together, right? We're going to see if this concept, all right, the birth of a MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI, the birth of the world called Jesus Christ, right? So this is going to be a segment. I'm going to turn it into a documentary for real. But I'm going to go piece by piece and break down this doctrine, okay, or this understanding. I'm going to say a misunderstanding, a understanding that we all have adopted being Christians, Baptists, Roman Catholicism, whatever the case, right? So I just want to share something right quick, okay? Because the brothers, shout out to all the brothers, man. Let me say this. All the brothers that I got love for, even like my Prince Tuvia, he leans to that as well as other brothers, right? Okay, you know what I'm saying? The VBs, Judah the Shooter, Malachi Maccabee, Jeremiah, a lot of different brothers, even Hand, but Judah Mack and these brothers, right? Okay, you see what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do, which he's Judah Mack out his own mouth is on the fence, either way. But hold on, okay. I was on the call, you know what I'm saying, with brothers. We was going at it. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know what, man? I'm sick and tired of this, man. You know what I mean? Because this was never a topic of discussion for me. This was never a topic of discussion for me in all my years, right? You see what I'm saying? I never even taught this on the street. I never even had a class until I moved to St. Louis, Missouri. And all of a sudden, I was attacked with this understanding. Like I was the devil that the Bible speaks of. I'm blaspheming. You see what I'm saying? I'm blaspheming. So that means I'm done. It's over. It's a riddles for me. And I was just blown away how I was so attacked constantly concerning this topic. You see what I'm saying? And ostracized and getting death threats and all type of stuff because I don't believe that. And I wasn't even speaking against it because I wasn't the aggressor in the understanding. I was being, you know what I'm saying, forced. They understand what's being forced upon me, even to the point where brother said, I am going to be converted, right? I'm going to switch the worlds. Well, I haven't switched the world. Shalom style to the y'all. You know what I'm saying? And brothers that have that understanding is mad love. See what I'm saying? But I'm dealing piece by piece, right? Okay? Piece by piece. It's one of my books I'm working on, right? And I know I got this screen here. So there's a lot of things I'm gonna tackle with this because it's an understanding. And brothers sat down, people sat down and really created this understanding. All right, the virgin birth goes into the curse of Caniah, right? I'm gonna bring it out. The only begotten son, her seed, hawk smash. I'm gonna deal with that. Seed of Eve, continue. The virgin birth doctrine is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Okay, I mean that's the topic I'm saying. I'm not saying anybody that teach that they blaspheme. Okay, all right. The supposed understanding, right? So I have a lot of different things. I'm not going to share everything right now. We'll see all these different things. I'm going to address piece by piece. Virtue's daughter, Joseph the son, all these different things, right? But what I want to deal with first and foremost is, yeah, man, brothers was doing all that. They was doing all that. It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? It was crazy. Like, what is that? What do I deserve that? Right? You know what I'm saying? This was back when I got out here in 2018. Okay. So which forced me to do a study on it. And so I purchased ancient writings, ancient manuscripts. I bought books of the forefathers, you know what I'm saying? The religious fathers of those days, like the book of Eusebius, right? Like I bought the translations. You know what I'm saying? I might have to change this thing right here, this virtual background. because I cannot be seen. Maybe I'll just change this right now. Oh, let me just take this off right quick. Let me take this off, right? All right. So the translation of the four gospels, right? We're going to this text right here, right? You see that right there for the Sirach of Sinaiticus, Pempus, 1894, Angus Smith Lewis. We're going there, right? I'm gonna go into this text, which has Evangeline da Mepharise, whatever, I'm pronouncing it wrong, the Curatonian version of the four gospels with the readings of the Sinai Palampus and the early Sirach patristic evidence, right? I'm gonna go in here, okay, right? I'm also gonna go into the books of the Gospel of the Nazarenes, right? With people reading out here, right? So I have, the William Tinsdale. I have the complete Wycliffe Bible. I have various different Bibles. I have Bibles on all worlds. Trust me. I got all worlds. I got all the worlds. The Bashitas. I have all the worlds. I have all the worlds. I have all the worlds. And this is going to be something on a specific topic concerning the nationality of the tribe of Mary. Because people is going around saying that Luke, the second chapter, Luke, the third chapter is the lineage of Mary. And she's not even mentioned in Luke verbatim as Mary in that lineage. Okay, so I'm going to read a couple of excerpts for some books. I got my Philo, I got my Josephus, I have my Eusebius. I definitely don't need the Eusebius. I have books such as, got my Philo, right? I have books right here going to the history. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not over here sleepwalking when it comes to this, right? So, I'm trying to find my Eusebius right quick. I don't know about Eusebius. I just had it. Even this book that these brothers been rocking, right? The Ebionites, right? The Essenes. It talks about in this book against the virgin birth, right? Okay. So I got the Geneva Bible over here. You see what I'm saying? I have with the Apocrypha, everything in here. You know what I'm saying? So I have the books, okay? Right? I have the books. Okay, of course, I got the Josephus. Christ is mentioned here, right? Apocrypha is mentioned in there. I have the Oxford annotated Bible, right? So I have a lot of different things, and I may not go into everything because this could be something brief, but there's a few books I'm going to definitely be using. Okay, a few books I'm going to be definitely using. So this is a in part one of a mini series concerning this understanding. All right. So I just want to show how I like the books, and let's get back to the screen. Let's get back to what it is over here. Okay. Right. So so I have records. I have plenty sources. Right. You know what I mean? I have more. Okay. So what I want to do is share a video. Okay. Concerning the genealogy of YAHAWASHI, right? So maybe we should go into the word genealogy first, okay? Let's go. Let me share a couple things here, and let's deal with terminology because we're reading in English, okay? Let's not be fooled and act like we're not reading the English language, okay? All right. So let's go to the site freedictionary.com, okay? Genealogy. Right? I spelled it wrong. Okay, genealogy right here. Okay?
Genealogy.
Okay? Genealogy. Let me show genealogy. Okay? Right? So it says a record or table of the descent of a person, descent of a person, family, or group from an ancestor or ancestors. Right? A family tree, direct descent from an ancestor, lineage, or pedigree, which is a very interesting word because it's in the Bible, the study or investigation of ancestry and family histories. Now, we see these words in the Bible. How are we going to switch and twist the definition of words, of this word, to fit our ideology? Family tree, kin, group, kindred, kinship, group, clan, kin, tribe, a group of people related by blood or marriage. Blood or marriage, which is covenant contracts, blood, children, pedigree, right? So we have a verse in the Bible that mentions pedigree, right? It says pedigree, a line of ancestors, a lineage, a list of ancestors, a family tree, right? So we get this word pedigree here. Can we also locate this in the blue letter in the Bible, right? Let's see, pedigree. Let's go. Let's see if we can get a verse off of that. Well, let me just type in numbers. Okay, let's go to numbers. Because people twisting numbers. I mean, come on, man. Are you serious here? All right. So we read numbers 1 and 5, right? I think it's numbers 1, right? Numbers 1. Those numbers 1 and 18. If I'm in the right verse, let me see if I'm not tripping. Right? And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, right? Okay, when you read 1, I think it goes in. Let me see with the verse. Right, Numbers 3. Well, you start with 1. Let's start with Numbers 1 and 1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation. Hope everybody can hear me. On the first day, matter of fact, let me check my audio so I can make sure I'm heard. Make sure that I'm heard nice and clearly. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, great, awesome. All right. So, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses in the wilderness in Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, the first day of the second month, of the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, take ye to some of the congregation of the children of Israel, right, after their families, by the house of their fathers, not their mothers, by the house of their fathers. This is how we recognize who you are. By the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, and every male by their posts. You can make up any scenario that you choose to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever scenario you can choose to, but it's not going to change the wordage, the definition of the word, all right? Of the house of their fathers. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. The recognizing your house, what house you belong to, what tribe do you belong to. For 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron should number them by their friends. So this is why they was doing this, because it was wartime, right? But let's go down to 18. Let's go down to 18, right? And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees, which we just read about your ancestry, your lineage, after their families, by the house of their father, not by the house of Mary, not by the house of your mama. Okay? And we're going to deal with the prophecies. We're going to deal with the prophecies concerning the Messiah all the way from Genesis 49. Okay? But that's not going to be my purpose tonight. Okay? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to break this down piece by piece. Pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. So this is the key term here. House of their fathers again. So we see how, can we check the word in the blue letter, which is the same word. It's pedigree. I mean, god dang. Yalad. Right?
Strong's H3205. Yalad.
It got begot 201 times. 201 times. That's under the word, the definition of genealogy, beget. I'm saying it doesn't say begat. It doesn't say begat. But that's what the word means. It's synonymous to this word. It's the same meaning. It's just different words saying the same thing. Bear 110 times. Born 79 times. So understand, if you see this, you see that, or you see this, or you see genealogy, if you see all these different terms, it's telling you it's determined by the father. To bear, bring forth, begot, gender, travail, to bear, bring forth of childbirth, right? Of the father, of distress, a wicked behavior, to beget, to be born, right? To begot a child, day of birth, birthday, to declares one birth, the pedigree. I don't see what's so hard about these things, man. We use these different things any other time, but when it comes to the birth of the Messiah, it's something different now. It's something different. It got to be something different. It has to be something different. It has to be. It has to be. There's probably like several scriptures that's the foundation of this ideology. Okay? So I just want to make sure that you see these things here. Birth. You see the word birth, right? Me and you, that's what it means. Like we can click on these things and trace it and find where it's at. That'll happen a little later on. I'm just going to be dealing with these terminologies by itself. Okay? So that's that on that. Okay? So now we already see genealogy, go into pedigree, pedigree, begot, born, birth, right? Bring forth. Okay? That's what we're talking about, right? Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see. The word pedigree. Full-blooded, purebred, heritage, breed, lineage, descent, ancestry, genealogy, family tree. All these things are synonymous to the same thing. Lineage, race, breed, extraction, genealogy, ancestry, heritage, stock, family, line, blood, descent, family tree. So I can't get it in my mind how when we go to certain scriptures, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a bewilderment to me, right? What it says here, the book of the generation of YAHAWASHI, and it says he's the son of David, right? Then he said he's the son of Abraham. So y'all trying to make a lineage through Mary. It doesn't say nothing about a whole woman's lineage going down throughout the generations. Nowhere it says that. Okay? But right here it says the generations. Right? Same thing. Genesis right here, right? In the Greek. Denotes an origin, a lineage, or birth. Birth, right? How does this transpire? Through your father's line. Just like when Ezra, they couldn't show their house through their fathers, the priests. They were disqualified. What are you talking about, man? Generation, okay? It says a book of one's lineage, i.e., in which his ancestry or progeny are enumerated, right? What is progeny? Is that going into your lineage? Should I just go to the freedictionary.com? Right? Let me just go there. I'll come back to that. That's fine. Let's go there. Progeny. Child or children of a parent or parents, right? Nobody on the earth, for argument's sake, from after Adam and Eve, for argument's sake, say everybody had a father and mother. And we can deal with Adam and Eve on another part of this discussion, right? The organism resulting from sexual reproduction. That's what it says. A person's descendant is considered as a group. The immediate descendants or descendants of a person, animal, a result of outcome, offspring, collective children, something that originates or results of something else, outcome, progeny. What's the problem? Right? You could say the immediate descendant of a person, she was the mother of many offspring, right? right? She's the mother, but she carries the man's seed. Let's understand this. Let's understand that before we get religiously crazy out here, okay? Because people be tripping, right? And where we Genesis 4:1, Adam knew his wife, had sex with her, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I've gotten a man from the Lord, right? So let's jump down here, 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For the Most High said, she have appointed me another seed, right? Seed. When you ejaculate, you're letting loose semen, right? Instead of Abel, whom Cain slew, right? Seed. Okay, what is that seed there? And I'm about to get into the lineage, because that's what this is about. I'm not going to go all over the place and all that. Zerah. Okay? Zerah. Seed, sowing, offspring, seed, semen. Remember, a brother did a whole video. Seemed like he said semen 1,000 times. The seed. The seed. Semen, offspring, descendant, posterity, children, right? That's what it means. Like, what's the problem? Why is this so hard? Why? A book of one's lineage, i.e., which is answered, progeny, or enumerated. Let me see what that is. Let's see what enumerated means. Let's go see what that means. Hold up. Let's go see what enumerated means, right? Let's see what that means. What's that word? What does that word mean? They just have words here for no reason. We're not going to look it up. Enumerated, all right? They don't have a definition for it. Term is often used in law as equivalent to mentioning specific designated, especially name or granted, as in speaking. Okay, let's do it right here. Definition. Right? Mention a number of things, one by one. Okay. All right. One by one. What does enumerated mean? To count off a name by one. Right. Right. As in the list of the genealogy report. Okay. The names that's in Matthew and Luke. Okay. We have to understand what is that about. Okay. So now that's what we're talking about right here. In the beginning of the book of the lineage, it says the book of the generation of MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI. That's what we're talking about. The son of David. You cannot be the son of David if you did not come through the loins of David. That's the prophecy in 2 Samuel, all through the scriptures. Like, stop playing. You can't be a son of David, an Israelite of the tribe of Judah, if your father was an Ephraimite. Like, stop playing these little games here. Son of David, the son of Abraham. Let's stop playing this game. You a Benjamite if your dad a Benjamite. What are we talking about here? Okay. So now I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop here. Right? I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna show a video. I'm gonna go over this video, right? So we can see what's going on in this video. So now I know whoever may watch this, whoever don't watch, that's fine. The information is going to be out for somebody to stumble along and watch the video. That's fine with me. Okay. Some people may not want to watch the video because they don't want to get slicey dicey, but that's fine too. But I'm going to continue with the most I put upon me to do. And that's just that. So now I've been holding this for a minute and it's time to go. It's time to go, man. It's just time to go. Right? That's just what it is. All right, so let me put that on the bottom there. Right? Put the band, move that right there, go back there. Brand, and now let's get to the video. Let's get to some videos. All right, so this is the video about two videos I ran across years ago about the genealogy of YAHAWASHI. Let's see which one makes sense. Okay? Now I ain't gonna be able to stop it like YouTube. I may have to jump to YouTube and stop, but I'm gonna play it, and maybe I gotta go to YouTube to stop and pause, or I'll just go straight to YouTube and show the video there. All right.
If you've ever read the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, It is likely that you have recognized at some point that they both offer a different family tree for Jesus. On the surface, it seems very odd that Jesus' genealogy would be different. Obviously, they can't both be correct, right? The first step to understanding why the two genealogies are different is to recognize that both have different starting points. Luke goes all the way back to Adam, while Matthew only goes back to Abraham. However, even when we just trace the development from Abraham, the names are different.
I'm gonna have to do it from YouTube because I can't stop and edify, okay? And I don't want this to run through. So let me get it right here.
If you've ever read the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, it is likely that you have recognized at some point that they both offer a different family tree for Jesus. On the surface, it seems very odd that Jesus' genealogy would be different. Obviously, they can't both be correct, right? The first step to understanding why the two genealogies are different is to recognize that both have different starting points. Luke goes all the way back to Adam, while Matthew only goes back to Abraham. However, even when we just trace the development from Abraham, the names are different. Matthew and Luke don't even agree on Jesus' grandpa's name. To understand why the genealogies differ, we need to understand the nature of Jewish genealogies. We think of family trees as a chronological listing of every single blood relative, but we shouldn't impose our modern understandings on the Bible. Genealogies in the Bible were also telling stories. They were reminding the reader of history by using names. Sometimes a genealogy would be thorough, as we would expect. Other times it wouldn't be as thorough and would instead be selective because they wanted readers to focus on particular aspects of the history which the genealogy was reminding them of. Now, some have suggested that perhaps Luke was giving the genealogy through Mary, while Matthew gave the genealogy through Joseph. But this doesn't make sense, as Joseph is specifically...
Hold up, but this doesn't make sense, right? All right, so this is what this gentleman is bringing forth. It doesn't make sense because a lot of people in Israel, right, is claiming, the people that stand on this understanding, that that's the lineage of Mary. It doesn't even say it, right? But you just insert this because you're trying to make a understanding. I'm trying not to say doctrine, right? It doesn't say what you're trying to insert in the text, all right? Or infer in the text, right? Your conclusion, your particular conclusion, or those people share that same perception, or, you know what I'm saying, of the text, right? Because this is something you want to believe. Something you want to believe. That's just what it is. So let's continue. Let's just continue. Let's see what he has to say.
While Matthew gave the genealogy through Joseph. But this doesn't make sense, as Joseph is specifically mentioned in both genealogies. And even if it were
he's mentioned in both genealogies. Joseph. He's in Luke and he's in Matthew. Joseph is in both genealogies. Understand that. Understand that. It's over for thou.
Mary's genealogy, we would still expect around the same number of names. When people try to make this kind of argument, they are guilty of holding ancient genealogies to today's standard. Luke, I would suggest, was attempting to be more thorough and wanted to emphasize Christ as the Son of God by tracing Jesus right back to Adam and ultimately God. Matthew, however, had a more specific story in mind, so let's take a look at Matthew. Matthew wasn't simply tracing a family line, he was rather tracing a dynastic or royal line. Matthew wanted to establish right from the beginning Jesus' legitimate kingship over Israel. He does this by highlighting David the king and by highlighting Abraham, the father of the Israelite nation. Notice how Matthew starts out his whole book, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, son of David and son of Abraham. Because Matthew's genealogy is a dynastic genealogy, it is intentionally selective. If we look at a quick timeline, Abraham is here, David is here, the Babylonian captivity is here, and Jesus is here. This makes it fairly obvious that Matthew wasn't worried about an exhaustive family tree. The same amount of names are covering totally different periods of time. Let's add Luke's names here. As you can see, Matthew is using far less names, particularly after we get to David. The names between these two lines bear almost no similarity. Now, if the purpose is to establish Jesus in the dynasty of King David, we can also presume that there would be other elements within the genealogy to clue readers into this focus. And guess what? This is exactly what we find. In Matthew's genealogy, there are things we call annotations, small bits of commentary. Again,
Hold up, let me stop this because I'm getting reports that this video is restricted. I wonder why they want to restrict this video. Hey, you said the video is restricted? Yeah, shalom. It's saying it's restricted for what? Only song I played was No Playing Games. Really? Can anybody out there see me or hear me? Maybe on YouTube. Please let me know, because one of the brothers saying it's restricted. I don't know if it's just, is it restricted on Facebook, or is it strict? Can you check the YouTube channel? All right, go to the YouTube channel. So Satan don't want me to bring out the information, obviously, right? They're trying to hinder the word. But we're gonna bring it out. If I gotta start over, do it again, I'm gonna bring it out. Period. I'm gonna bring it out. We're not gonna stop this show. All right. If I gotta just do a video, record it home, just record it offline and upload it, then I'm gonna do that. But it's going to be documented. They want to restrict stuff. They want to. Well, I see it here. I don't see why it's the other saying. I see it here. All right. Oh, so you can see me. Okay. I wanted to make sure people can see me. All right. Just because you say he's not the father doesn't make what you say the truth. Okay. I've been saying this crazy madness for years. So now let's get back on to it. All right. So there's people out here. I can see you. Let's go. All right. Here's a brother I mess with, rock with, we build. But, you know, he's stuck on this. But that's fine. Everybody's stuck on something. You know what I'm saying? You can see me on Facebook, bro. All praise and glory to the Most High. So let me get back to the video. All right. You see what I'm saying? When you believe something so hard, it's kind of hard for somebody to knock it out your head, okay? So let's jump back to the beginning of this video. Let's go.
if you've ever read the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, it is likely that you have recognized at some point that they both offer a different family tree for Jesus. On the surface, it seems very odd that Jesus' genealogy would be different. Obviously, they can't both be correct, right? The first step to understanding why the two genealogies are different is to recognize that both have different starting points. Luke goes all the way back to Adam, while Matthew only goes back to Abraham. However, even when we just trace the development from Abraham, the names are different. Matthew and Luke don't even agree on Jesus' grandpa's name. To understand why the genealogies differ, we need to understand the nature of Jewish genealogies. We think of family trees as a chronological listing of every single blood relative, but we shouldn't impose our modern understandings on the Bible. Genealogies in the Bible were also telling stories. They were reminding the reader of history by using names. Sometimes a genealogy would be thorough, as we would expect. Other times it wouldn't be as thorough and would instead be selective because they wanted readers to focus on particular aspects of the history which the genealogy was reminding them of. Now, some have suggested that perhaps Luke was giving the genealogy through Mary, while Matthew gave the genealogy through Joseph. But this doesn't make sense, as Joseph is specifically mentioned in both genealogies. And even if it were Mary's genealogy, we would still expect around the same number of names. When people try to make this kind of argument, they are guilty of holding ancient genealogies to today's standard. Luke, I would suggest, was attempting to be more thorough and wanted to emphasize Christ as the Son of God by tracing Jesus right back to Adam and ultimately God. Matthew, however, had a more specific story in mind. So let's take a look at Matthew. Matthew wasn't simply tracing a family line. He was, rather, tracing a dynastic or royal line. Matthew wanted to establish right from the beginning Jesus' legitimate kingship over Israel. He does this by highlighting David.
Do you hear that? His legitimate kingship to Israel, because the covenant is only going through David as the kings. Okay? Let me go see if I can find this in the Apocrypha right quick. Right? Let's see if I can go to the Apocrypha and pull that around Ecclesiastes, the 45th chapter, maybe. It says, now let us praise famous men, right? And it talks about the kings. I think Ecclesiastes 47, and after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of David, as in the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel, right? I'm just reading my highlights. Solomon reigned in the peaceful time, was honored, for the Most High made all quiet round about him, that he might build in the house of his name and prepare as a sanctuary forever. 22, but the Lord will never leave off his mercy, neither shall any of his work perish, neither will he abolish the posterity of the elect and the seed of him that love him, which is David. He would not take away. Therefore, he gave a remnant unto Jacob, and out of him a root unto David, right? Thus rested Solomon with his father, and of his seed he left behind him Rehoboam, and going into all of that. And where's the scripture that tells you? Hold on one second. I gotta get the scripture where it tell you that the tribe of Judah was dedicated as the kings, and Aaron is dedicated as the priest. Okay, so I'll get that while the video playing. Okay, I'll get that while the video is playing, brother. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with the lineage of Matthew and Luke. That's what we're dealing with. All right, that's what we're dealing with. Okay.
David the king, and by highlighting Abraham, the father of the Israelite nation. Notice how Matthew starts out his whole book, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, son of David and son of Abraham. Because Matthew's genealogy is a dynastic genealogy, it is intentionally selective. If we look at a quick timeline, Abraham is here, David is here, the Babylonian captivity is here, and Jesus is here. This makes it fairly obvious that Matthew wasn't worried about an exhaustive family tree. The same amount of names are covering totally different periods of time. Let's add Luke's names here. As you can see, Matthew is using far less names, particularly after we get to David. The names between these two lines bear almost no similarity. Now, if the purpose is to establish Jesus in the dynasty of King David, we can also presume that there would be other elements within the genealogy to clue readers into this focus. And guess what? This is exactly what we find.
Right, so you see this, right? Right, when you look at the lineage, there's a whole different segment, right, of names versus Matthew and Luke. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, we have to figure out, okay, who is these people in this other lineage? Are they biblically referenced? Why is there a Luke genealogy and why there's a David genealogy? Which he just walk out and say, it can't be no Mary. That's ridiculous. Okay? Because Joseph is mentioned in both lineages, first of all. But I'm going to let the video talk. I'll edify later.
This is exactly what we find. In Matthew's genealogy, there are things we call annotations, small bits of commentary. Again, remember that genealogies tell a story. What kind of story do these annotations tell? The first small annotation, Judah and his brothers, was a wonderful reminder that Judah rose to a position of leadership and prominence over his brothers.
Now, let me say this right now. Here we go. I'm going to let you know right now. I do believe in the virgin birth. But not from your immaculate. Well, you say, well, not the immaculate conception, because the immaculate conception deified Mary. It said, you know, she was gifted with the Holy Spirit, and she's like a goddess from the womb. All right, virgin birth concept, whatever, which one you want to talk about. Okay, it's still an understanding that's coming out from the Catholic Church. All right, point blank, period, whatever. Okay, so now I believe in the virgin birth from this perspective. Now, watch this. Watch this. Let this blow your mind right quick. Let this blow your mind right quick. All right?
The fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Furthermore, a promise of a future Messiah occurs in Jacob's blessing of Judah in Genesis 49. We have the same annotation about Jeconiah and his brothers. Jeconiah, called Jehoiachin in the Old Testament, represented the entirety of the Israelite nation in accepting the punishment of the coming army, going off to the exile and receiving his punishment, and then receiving reprieve from that punishment.
Now, I want y'all to see this genealogy report. And he's going to talk about it in a minute, because you see these names that's in bold, right? In bold.
Josephus, the important Jewish historian, highlights Jeconiah as a model of one who suffered for others. Sound familiar? One thing well known about Matthew's genealogy is the mention of women in the annotations. Mentioning these women do several things simultaneously. First, the presence of women highlights what we see later in Jesus' ministry, his value of women. While genealogies, like Luke's, always trace through men, Matthew's short genealogy adds women to the story. Second, beginning the genealogy.
Right. Luke genealogy is going through men, not women. Matthew's not going through women, but it's mentioning the women in the genealogy report. And it's so wild is that they try to use Luke to prove that's Mary's lineage, but the women is being mentioned in Matthew. It's ridiculous.
Genealogy with Abraham reminds the readers of God's promise to Abraham to bless the nations.
So they're talking about the value of women, right? What the women play in the Messiah's lineage. About Gentiles. You guys, so let's look here. You have Tamar, right? That she wasn't of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Tamar, right? She was a woman of another nation. And what's the important factor about Tamar? Anybody know what the important factor of Tamar is? Because I believe, stop playing. I'm not, this is me giving a breakdown of my perspective. Nobody's coming on this live. None of that is happening. So don't even ask for the link. You're not getting a link at all. At all. Okay? This is me giving a full-fledged presentation. So don't think you're getting a link to come up here and run your doctrine. No, we can see your doctrine all on your channels. Okay? You understand, I should say. Okay? Well, I'm hating then. Let me be the hater of words. Okay? I'm hating. Yes, I'm hating. Damn right I'm hating. All right? So Tamar, what's the important thing about what we know about Tamar? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Tamar in Genesis 38, right, had 3 rods. Three. Right? When we go to Genesis 38, right? When we go to Genesis 38, she had Onan, right? Let me where my Bible at. Right? Genesis 38. Let's see. Because I believe in the virgin birth, but not what you're talking about. Not what you're talking about. Now you can leave all your comments and all type of badness in the world. All thou wantest is not going to stop or change a thing. Okay? What you need to do is get this knowledge. Right? So here we go. Genesis 38. Right? And 1. And it came to pass at the time that Judah went down from his brother and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hirah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her, Hamite, and went in onto her. Right? So for those that say we can't deal with the Hamites, the nations, and all that, well, hey, we was rocking with the nations all through the Bible. Okay, but anyway, and Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in onto her. Well, was she going to be a Judite? Was she going to be an Israelite? What was going to be? A Canaanite? And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son and called his name Onan. Right? And she yet again conceived and bare a son and called his name Shelah, and was at Sherzib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Right? And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. Right? So now she had one man so far. He's dead. She's not a virgin. But she's in the lineage and a Canaanite. Right? Another nation. Right? And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her and raise up seed, like a brother said. Mally said, seed to thy brother. Okay? You don't come here but through the seed, Negro. Put the damn smoke down, whatever you doing. Put it down. All right? And Onan knew that the seed should not be his because it's going to be a change of the lineage. Okay? This is the beginning of a law that's going to be written, outlined in Deuteronomy, the 25th chapter. And this is what you're missing. A lot of you are missing this concept in Genesis, the 38th chapter. Right? That's going to be eye-awakening in other chapters. Okay? Because people said, there are two fathers. Well, here's an example of two fathers. But this guy didn't want to be a father because he didn't raise up seed to his brother. He spilled it upon the ground. Let's read it. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. So even though it's his physically, it was not going to be attached to him spiritually or even in the physical realm. But physically, it is his seed. Okay? But still yet, understand, these two men are biological brothers from the same father. So they're from the same lineage, regardless. Right? They're from the same lineage, regardless. Okay? Right? Get that. Understand that. Understand that, right? And it says, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in onto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Seed. That's how you come here. That's how you get here. Everybody, from sake of argument, from Adam and Eve, had a father and a mother. Every Israelite did. I don't know what you guys talking about. Okay? Then it says, and the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him. So now she done had two rods. Two rods. Two rods. Two men. She's not a virgin, but she's in the lineage. Look at the controversy going on. Right? And then Judah saw her, verse 15, right? Where I'm at. And then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, let's pre-avenge it. He die also, as his brethren did, and Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. So we know the story as you go on. Judah deceived by Tamar. Tamar played the harlot, right? And he was mourning over his wife, met her on the highway and the byways, right? You see what I'm saying? And got the korban. Okay? He got the korban. Right? Let's see. And let's see right here. Genesis 38 and 1. And it was told to Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her and covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath, for she saw that Shelah was grown and she was not given unto him to wife. So I'm not going to keep talking about it. Judah smashed. That's three men. That's three men. That's three men. She's not a virgin, but she's in the genealogy report of a MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI. Now, let's look at Rahab. Rahab, the Canaanite harlot. You know she had multiple rods, right? Multiple rods, right? But guess what? She was the mother of Boaz, correct? Right? It says, and Zerah by Tamar, Hezron, Ram, Abinadab, Nashon, Salom, Boaz by Rahab. Right? So it's giving her credence that she's the mother of Boaz, not that he didn't have a dad. Right? And she was a harlot. Okay? He was a harlot. Okay? Then you have Ruth, the Moabite. I don't fall for the doctrine. Okay, or I ain't gonna say doctrine, the understanding that she was not a Moabite. It says it in the book of Ruth. That's ridiculous. You Negroes going to 2 million precepts all around the world trying to make an understanding about geographical locations and we was over here and over there. But it clearly tell you who she was. I can go to Josephus. I can go to the book of Gad. I can go right in the Bible, the book of Ruth. That's it. That's all I got to go at. Let's just stop the madness. Okay? So Ruth was a Moabitess. Right? We got a whole bunch of heathens here. Right? And she was the mother of what? Obed. Right? Then you have David the king. So Ruth had two husbands. She had a husband, and then she married Boaz. So she had two rods. She wasn't a virgin. Then you have the wife of Uriah. The wife of Uriah, which was the Duchess of Fear in YAHAWASHI's lineage. Look at all this madness going on. Right? So she wasn't a virgin. She wasn't a virgin to David. So she had two rods. Right? So we have three up there. Tamar, 3 rods. Rahab, I don't know how many rods. Ruth, 2 rods. Right? And then Bathsheba, 2 rods. Then you come down to Mary, the virgin. So I do believe in the virgin birth. Because she was a virgin that gave birth to the Messiah through Joseph. Period. All right? So that's that on that. Let's finish watching this thing right here. Let's finish watching this here.
These women and their stories remind us that even within the Old Testament, Gentiles were part of God's story, and even part of continuing the Davidic line. Third, mentioning these women reminds the readers of the scandalous nature by which the promised line continued. There is no more soap opera story in the OT than Tamar. Rahab was a prostitute. And just in case we forget, Matthew reminds us of the wife of Uriah, calling to mind the infamous story of David's adultery with Bathsheba. All of this sets the reader up for the scandal of Mary, a virgin woman who will claim she has conceived the child through the power of the Holy Spirit. The genealogy prepares us to see that God has worked in strange ways to continue the promised line in the past already. The final thing which further helps us understand Matthew's...
So obviously this author here is agreeing somewhat of the virgin birth. Okay? See, I'm not being, I'm being transparent with the information being shared here. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Right? There's no, it's a controversy of an understanding. All right? Of a false understanding. Right? That's what it is. That has nothing to do with Old Testament prophecies or New Testament scripture. And one scripture in Isaiah 7 that's totally took out of context. Totally Isaiah 7:14. Totally took out of context.
Selectivity is the way in which he structures it. In verse 17, Matthew says, "So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David to the deportation to Babylon, 14 generations, and from the deportation to Babylon to the Messiah, 14 generations." This verse introduces 2 issues. Why the number 14? And how exactly is Matthew counting? When we put the names in columns of 14, we are 1 name short. There have been several options provided by scholars as to how this should be understood. Maybe Matthew simply rounded up to emphasize the number 14. Maybe there was a scribal error and a name has been accidentally dropped. Maybe the exile is being counted as a generation. Perhaps the Holy Spirit is being counted as a generation. Or maybe Mary. One of the most popular options is that Jehoiakim, Jeconiah's father, is present in the count, but not in the actual genealogy. None of these are perfect answers, and all of the options assume some sort of creative counting on Matthew's part. 3 scholars, as well as myself, have argued in publications that we should actually count David twice. Here's why. First, notice that David is the only one besides Jesus to receive a title in the genealogy. Notice also that he is the 14th name in the list. We should also remember how Son of David has already been highlighted in the first verse. But more than that, counting David twice is exactly how Matthew tells us to count the genealogy. When reading verse 17 and counting just like Matthew tells us to, the genealogy would be structured like this. This gives us 14 names in each section, with David being counted twice. Finally, the last piece of evidence that supports counting David twice is the number 14 itself. It seems clear from verse 17 that Matthew is drawing attention to that number. Why? Most commentators believe it is because of something called gematria, where letters of the alphabet represent numbers. In this case, the Hebrew letter Dalet is the 4th in the Hebrew alphabet, and Vav is the 6th. 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 14. And that is how David's name is often spelled in the Old Testament. This is why 14 is highlighted, and it is why Matthew chose to structure the genealogy the way he did. He was selective in his choice of names so that the structure itself could emphasize Jesus' Davidic lineage as the Messianic son of David.
Okay, so take from that what you will. Had a lot of nice jewels in there, but I'm going to show you another video that breaking down the lineage of a MASHAYACH YAHAWASHI. And in that video, he clearly tells you that this cannot, Luke 1 cannot be the lineage of YAHAWASHI. I mean, of Mary. Cannot be. Okay? It doesn't even make sense for these brothers to say that. And if you brothers still on it, I can play it again for thou-is, or go watch the videotape. Okay? So now, VB. VB. Right? Okay? So let's go into another genealogy report right here that I discovered years ago when I was in the heart of St. Louis and getting bombarded with this understanding like it was the damn end, that like this was the all and be all, and you gonna die and go to the lake of fire if I don't accept the teaching. Right? This was the spirit in St. Louis. Okay? I couldn't be around brothers as they talking about this. It was ridiculous. Okay? So now let me show you this. Let me share you this. Okay? And the reason why I ain't trying to go into this, because I ain't want to damn bring a spirit of division, because them elders out there was bugging out, and they'd be like, yes, see, I told you while I was doing this madness. But let's go.
Why does the genealogy in Matthew contradict the genealogy in Luke? In the book of Matthew, chapter 1, it gives a genealogy from Abraham all the way down to Jesus. And in Luke chapter 3, it gives a genealogy from Jesus all the way up to Adam. In Matthew chapter 1, it says that Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. It says here that Jacob begot Joseph, which would mean that Jacob is the father of Joseph. However, in Luke chapter 3, it says that Joseph was the son of Heli, which would mean that Heli is the father of Joseph. So in Matthew chapter 1, it says that Jacob is the father of Joseph, but in Luke chapter 3, it says that Heli is the father of Joseph. So one book says that Jacob is the father, the other book says that Heli is the father, so the question is who's the father?
Shout out to Judah the Shooter for his transition from that ideology of that spirit, I should say, where they just want to just bombard you with this information. You see what I'm saying? Right? In which they used to run to him or Mally because they was the only one that was strong enough to even deal with me on a topic for real. You see what I'm saying? So they used to run and call them, text, come helpest thou. Come helpest thou, savest meest. You see what I'm saying? I got to battle everybody in St. Louis out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, God dang, can I live? Like, I'm fighting. Listen, it's like a karate movie. I'm fighting 7 people at one time. Okay? It was ridiculous, man. It was crazy. You see what I'm saying? So what the brother said, I'm glad I stopped arguing over this shit, laugh out loud. This is true, laugh out loud. I'm a virgin birth believer, but I stopped arguing over this. But I'm glad you decided to do it now. It's good timing. I said, I got to do it now. You know what I'm saying? I just got to have this conversation now. You see what I'm saying? I'm over here cracking up. They bring back all the memories. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I could have folded, but I stand firm and I stood strong, man. You see what I'm saying? And I was able to hear and listen to perspectives and points of views and points of arguments. Okay? Which made me go study it. Right? Study it. Right? All praise and glory to the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So, because prior to that, I never did a lesson on it. Okay, but here we are right now. Okay, so now let's watch this video. So who's the father? Brother asked, how can you have two fathers? Well, Genesis the 38th chapter gave you a clear example. Genesis, hold up. Genesis 38 was a prerequisite for the law in Deuteronomy the 5th chapter. I mean the 25th chapter. Let me get that right quick before I continue this. There's something that you're missing in the words. If you link up the puzzles, right, you might just get the words. Deuteronomy 25. Deuteronomy 25 and 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. It shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead. Right? That's how you can have another daddy. Right? That his name be not put out of Israel. Right? So the brother marries your ex-wife, right? Because you're dead, right? And bears seed to her. And now that child is dedicated to your dead brother, which is going to carry a lineage through your dead brother. It's going to continue his legacy. But you is biologically the father. Okay? That's how you can have two fathers. You have a biological father and one that's not biological but is spiritual, and is according to the law, but it's spiritual. That's how you got two fathers. Okay? Right? You call it stepfather, whatever you want to call it. Right? That's what they call it today, stepfathers. Like what we talking about here. But this is lawful stepfatherism right here. Okay? Then it says, it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother, which is dead, and his name should not be put out of Israel. And if the man, so there you go right there. This is showed in Genesis 38. This is showed in Deuteronomy 25. And it's also shown in the book of Ruth, which is a transition of a lineage of a son to Boaz, right? From Rahab the harlot, right? The Obed going up to Boaz on to Jesse and all that stuff like that. A change of lineage through brothers. Maybe sounding familiar now. You start thinking about Matthew and Luke, huh? Since they got Nathan there, right? They got Nathan there. They got Solomon there, right? Very interesting. Very interesting there. But let's continue.
Is Jacob the father, or is Heli the father, or are Jacob and Heli the same person? Well, they can't be the same person because Jacob's father is Methan, Heli's father is Methat. They have different fathers. They have different grandfathers. They have different great-grandfathers. They have different great-great-grandfathers. They have different genealogies. So how could Joseph have two different fathers with two different genealogies? Well, there's a 4th century historian by the name of Eusebius who explains this supposed discrepancy in the genealogy of Christ. In Eusebius's Ecclesiastical History, in Book 1, Chapter 7, page 21, second paragraph, second sentence, he says, Heli and Jacob were brothers by the same mother. Heli dying childless, Jacob raised up seed to him, having Joseph according to nature belonging to himself, but by law to Heli, thus Joseph was the son of both. According to Eusebius, Jacob and Heli were brothers.
Does that sound kind of interesting? Definitely sound better than the married worlds.
In Deuteronomy 25:5, it says, If brothers dwell together, and one of them dies and has no son, the widow of the dead man shall not be married to a stranger outside the family. Her husband's brother shall go into her, take her as his wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. And it shall be that the firstborn son which she bears will succeed to the name of his dead brother, that his name may not be blotted out of Israel. Basically, what this scripture verse is saying is that when a man and a woman get married without having any children, and then something happens and the man dies childless.
So now I'm going to stop that right quick. He said, the Maury show, you are not the father, right? Let me go here. Let's go to Eusebius right here. I'm going to read Eusebius now, right? I'm going to read it, right? Book 1, chapter 7, start with 1. As the genealogy of Christ is differently given to us by Matthew and Luke, and they are supposed by the genealogy to disagree in their statements, and as every believer, for want of knowing the truth, has been led to apply some investigation to explain the passage. We may also add the account which has come down to us. We refer to the history which has been handed down on these passages by Africanus in the epistle of Aristides, respecting the harmony of the genealogy of the Gospels, after having refuted the opinions of others as false and fictitious. He set forth the account that he had inserted himself in the following words, right? So now, just like a lot of you have inserting things, right? You may say, well, I'm inserting things. Well, let's see. Ecclesiastical history. You wasn't there, thou. Right? So we read it first or second person accounts here. Understand that. Right? It says, it was customary to Israel to calculate the names of the generations, either accounting to nature or according to the law. So you got a lineage according to nature or a lineage according to the law. So yeah, that's how you can have two daddies. How about that one for thou is? How about that one for thou is? Let me just give you a little respect, a little respect for that one in the worlds. There you go. All right. It says this. Read it again. Point 2. It was customary to Israel to calculate the names of the generations either according to nature or according to law. According to nature, by the succession of legitimate offspring, which would be Matthew. It would be Matthew. Right? According to the law, when others raised children to the name of a brother who died childless. That would be in Luke. Okay? That would be in Luke. Okay? That would be in Luke. Let's understand that. We can sit there and we keep arguing about this Mary world. Mary ain't even mentioned in there. You're just inserting Mary there. That's all you're doing. It says, according to the law, when another raised children to the name of a brother who had died childless, for as the hope of resurrection was not yet clearly given, they imitated the promise which was to take place by a kind of mortal resurrection with a view to perpetuate the name of the person who had died. Okay? So this is what they was doing. This is what they was doing. Right? It says, since then, there are some of those who are inserted in this genealogy table. Right? When you read Luke, you start looking up some of them names in there, you ain't gonna find a blue letter for them. It's like they're ghosts. Who art thou? Where did thou comest from? Just start in Luke and go down. Click on the name. See if you find thou is them anywhere. Miss it in action. Who art the father? Who's the daddy? Okay, how about that? So you want to talk about Luke? Who generated Luke? There's some ghosts in Luke. People who don't even exist. You can't find nothing on them. So what are you talking about? Okay? Since then, there are some of those who are inserted in this genealogy table that succeed each other in the natural order of father and son. Some, again, that were born of others and were ascribed to others by name. Right? So, yes, you can have a daddy that's not your biological from the seed father, and he can be your dad. And that's the law. He's your father. And some, again, that were born of others, were ascribed to others by name. Both the real and reputed fathers have been recorded. That's why you see two different genealogy reports. That's why Negro, understand that. Understand that. Okay? Stepdaddy worlds, like Judah said. Stepdaddy worlds. Okay? Like you have a okay. Let me finish. It says, we read that part again, that sentence again. Since then, there are some of those who are inserted in the genealogical table that succeed each other in the natural order of father and son. Some again that were born of others and were ascribed to others by name. Both the real and reputed fathers have been recorded. Thus, neither of the Gospels has made a false statement, which calculating in the order of nature or according to law. Okay? So there's nothing wrong. It's just your wrong understanding, buddy. Okay? How about that? You forgot about Deuteronomy 25. You forgot about Genesis 38. You forgot about the book of Ruth. Put the puzzle together, buddy. Okay? Then it says this. For the family descended from Solomon, and those from Nathan were so intermingled by superstitions in the place of those who had died childless by second marriages and the raising up of seed, that the same persons are justly considered as in one respect belonging to one of these, and another respect belonging to others. So if you have a biological brother, right, and then one of them died, you can raise up seed to your biological brother, and he will still be existing in this earthly plane in a celestial form here on earth and have a physical lineage. So his name won't be blotted out. He's still here. Okay? And you still came from the same lineage of a man, the pedigree of a man's loins. Those two brothers came from the same father. There's no genealogy report of talk about mama, thou is. None of that. No, nowhere. Stop it. And you can go to 2 Chronicles and use that all day. It had nothing to do with Matthew nor Luke at all. Okay, buddy? And I'm going to deal with that too. But it says, not today though. Hence it is that both of these, right, accounts being true, viz. Of those who were reputed fathers and those who really were fathers, they come down to Joseph with considerable intricacies. It is true, but with great accuracy, that this, however, may be made evident, Hebrews 7:14, I will state the series of generations. If in the genealogy of Matthew, you reckon the generations from David through Solomon, Matan, who begot Jacob, the father of Joseph, is found to be the third from the end. So now I have to pull up the lineage so you can see it, right? I have to pull up both tables so you can see it. So you have to go in here, get you the book of Josephus, spend some money, invest in thy brain, okay? Right? And it says, matter of fact, if I can go to that other video, but I don't want to stop this one because it shows the difference in the lineage report over there. Okay, let me see. I might can pull it up. Luke versus Matthew lineage. See if I can get an image of it. See if I can get an image of it. I just saw one somewhere. Hold on. So I'm gonna be on here for like 30 more minutes. But I'm not gonna sit here all day long. I want to eat and go to sleep. That's what I want us to do as thouists. And I'm going to do it, thouists. I'm supposed to be doing homework, but people got on my nerves. And I'm saying, it's time for me to go as thou. It is time now. That's just that. Okay? So, let me go back here. Let me go here. And let me stop sharing this for a second. And let me do this. Share the whole screen. Right? And show that. Let me see. Okay. So is it showing it both lineage there? Okay. Nathan. Is this showing? Oh man. Oh yeah, it's showing both of them. Both of them right there. Okay. So it says Matan, who begot Jacob, right? Matan that begot Jacob. I guess when you look over here, Matan, where's that? That's Luke, right? No, that's Luke there on the other side. And this is Nathan. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see here. Hezekiah. No, that's not the one nope, it's not showing the one I need. Line of Mary. What's that? That's off as hell. Let me just read, man. Let me get up out of here with that madness right there. Was people trying to debate? Yes, sir. Yes, they was. Sleepy Worlds, right? Yeah, Sleepy Worlds. Yeah. Trying to go at me, right? So it says, Mathan, who begot Jacob, the father of Joseph, is found to be the third from the end, right? So let me see if I can just pull up the blue letter right quick, right? So we can just see it, okay? Let me go there. Let me go. Okay, so we go in here. What's this? Luke 3. I don't know if we're talking about Luke 3. All right, let's go down here. All right, so that's Luke 1 right there. I'm just gonna open up both of these. Right. Let me open up both of these. All right, so let me go here. Let's open up both windows so we can see both lineage. Matthew Worlds. Okay, and there we go right there. Let's go to YAHAWASHI. Let's go to YAHAWASHI down there. Okay, so I'm gonna share the whole window. Okay, boom, whole screen, boom, boom. So, right, so we reading over here, Mathan right here, right? So Mathan, who begot Jacob, the father of Joseph. Mathan, who begot Jacob, the father, and we went through begot, we went to genealogy, we went through progeny, we went to pedigree. All that is going through your father's lineage. All that's talking about you being born by the man, all that. And it says that Jacob begot Joseph. So Jacob is the father of Joseph. Who is Joseph? Joseph is the husband of Mary. Joseph is the subject. Jacob begot Joseph. So right here, Joseph is the subject, right? Joseph, his title is he's the husband of Mary. Joseph is the husband of Mary. Joseph is the husband of Mary, of whom, right, was born Christ. I don't see how you misread this. It's giving him his title, and she said she had his son. I mean, what's the problem? Do we have to say it right there? Born means what? When you blue letter that, whom was born Jesus, who called Christ. So if I blue letter this joint right here, if I blue letter it, who was born, we already went through that with the genealogy, everything like that. We already went through that. Okay. Born, Genoa, right there. It means to begot. That's it. To be born, begetting children, more rarely of women. Let's throw that in there, right? That's ridiculous. Begetting children, right? It says begot 49 times, be born 39 times, bear, gender, bring, of men who fathered children. That's it. Okay? To be born, to be begotten, a woman giving birth to children, just like Genesis 4:25. Period. To engender, according to Riley Excite, right? Of making Christ his son. So this is where we at right here. Of men who fathered children, to be born, to be begotten. Okay? Is it a difference there if I just click on the begotten worlds? Right? Genoa is the same word. Okay? Period. So now let's go back. Now, I'm gonna deal with that again later in depth. Matter of fact, Mathan, who begot Jacob, the father of Joseph, is found to be the third from the end. But if with Luke, you reckon from Nathan. So let's go over here to Luke. Right? Let's go to Luke. So let's go up. Here you go. Which was the son of Milah, which was the son of Melian, which was the son of Mathath, which was the son of Nathan, which was the which was the son of David, right? Which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse, right? Which was the son of Obed, going back in the genealogy report back then, okay? Going down like that, okay? So, matter of fact, let me read this. And Nathan, the son of David, in like manner, Milchi, whose name was Eli, let me go down. Milchi, I think it's right here, Milchi, right? Who was the son of Eli, the father of Joseph, will be found to the third. Let's go up to Joseph. Let's go up. Let's go up here. So you got Mathath, which is the son of Levi, which was the son of Levi, and brothers pulled that out. Okay, brother tried to blue letter that. I got you. It's all good. It sounded great in the whole nine, but these are Judites. These are Judites. Mary is nowhere in here. Okay, and no lineage go through the mother. So that was a nice try, but you failed. I don't care what you're talking about, buddy. Okay, you failed. Which is the son of Levi, which was the son of Mathat, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Milchi, which was the son of going down that way like that. So we go here. Yahawashi himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed. And you know that I'm gonna deal with that as I'm gonna do a whole lesson as was supposed. So you know, if in the English language, if you learn anything about literacy, take a literacy class. You don't need the anything in the parentheses. It does help add to the text. And then suppose as prophecy. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, brothers used to use this as was supposed. That's Mary. You're gonna make as was supposed Mary. I couldn't believe niggas was saying that shit. I'm like, God damn, I must be the most illiterate nigga ever on the face of the earth, because that supposes Mary. Oh shit. In parentheses. Right? You don't even need that there. But I'm going to deal with that in a different class. Yahawashi himself began to be 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph. See that? See how I go? Being the son of Joseph. Let's just get rid of that as the parenthesis words. Because I can just go through that right now. Let's just pull up parentheses, man. Let's look it up. Right? Being the son of Joseph. Which is the son of Hela. Which is the son of Mathat. Which is the son of Levi. Right? Brothers are so starving. They go over here and click on this. Matter of fact, let me click on it to be fair with they try to pull on me. Like that shit was changing something. Right? They trying to make Mary in the worlds. I'm gonna make Mary in the lineage. I'm gonna make Yahawashi come through Mary, and his tribe is gonna be recognized through his mother. But everywhere else is through your father, except in this case. Oh, Lord, my goodness, man. Okay, but anyway, let's go. Joseph, which was the son of Heli. Yeah, so they went to Levi. Yeah, let me go to Levi. Right here, they went here. I think they went to Matan. Right? Matat, which was the son of no, let me go. Was it which was the son of Mathat? Was it Mathat? Let's see. Yeah, Mathat equal gift of God, a son. That means a gift of God, a son of Levi in the genealogy of Christ, right? Obviously, right? And it says grandfather of Mary. Okay, so this is what he pulled, right? Which was a good script, grandfather of the Mary. So this is what they get, they understand and say, well, Mary is in this lineage here, right? Grandfather of Mary, which they try to say, well, this is the lineage of Yahweh. This is how Yahawashi gets his tribe through Mary, because she was a Judite. But that's not the genealogy report of Israel. Your nationality is not based off your mother. Okay, even if that's the case there, right? Probably a shortened form of G3161 Mathijah, the name of two Israelites, right? The name of two Israelites, Mathat, right? So these brothers try to say, oh, you trying to say that's Levi? It says son of Levi, but he was talking about in the genealogy of Yahawashi, okay? That's not a Levite there, okay? So I'm going to say that crystal clear. According to the concordance, is an outline of grandfather of the Mary. Now, is this true? Is this particular thing true here? Because we got to understand too. This is the Strong's Concordance, right? They have intentions to take and add things out the text. Because if I go right here and show these two books, where I'm going to do a class on these two books right here, and show that Luke stories don't exist, it's not in there. And in both of these reports, it says Joseph the daddy. Point blank, period. Okay? Point blank, period. Okay, but let's continue. Let's continue the reading of this book here. So let's go back to Luke. It says, from Nathan, the son of David, and like manner Milchi, and this is an old record, older than the Strongs, understand that, which was son of Eli, the father of Joseph, will be found to be the third. And Joseph then is our proposed object. We are to show how it happened that each is recorded as his father. But Jacob as deduced from Solomon, right? And Eli from Nathan's line. So the prophecy was given in 2 Samuel through Solomon. Nowhere is it mentioned Nathan at all. At all is he recorded in the Bible that Nathan did not go. Nathan the prophet did not go to Nathan. Okay? The son of David. It was through Solomon. Period. King Solomon, not his brother Nathan, or like his other brothers that tried to usurp the throne. He had many brothers, but he was the chosen seed. He was the chosen vessel, not Nathan. Stop it. And y'all try to use Nathan when it comes to on the curse of Carnier. I'm gonna deal with that separately. Okay, right? So it says, as point 6, as Joseph then is our proposed object, we have to show that it happened, that each is recorded as his father. But Jacob as deduced from Solomon, and Eli from Nathan. Also, how it happened that these two, Jacob and Eli, were brothers. And moreover, how the fathers of these, Mathan and Milchi, being of different families, are proved to be the grandfathers of Joseph, right? So these two are proved to be the grandfathers of Joseph. How is this possible? Mathan and Milchi, having married in succession the same woman, had children who were brothers. Let me read again. Mathan and Milchi, having married in succession the same woman, had children. So they married us. They got the same Quabah, and they both had children by her, who were brothers by the same woman, right? Brothers by the same woman, different father. That's the baby daddies right there. As the law, let me go over here. As the law, read out in the Greek Hebrew from, all right. It says, Mathan and Milchi, having married in succession the same woman, had children who were brothers by the same mother, as the Lord did not permit a widow, whether she became such by divorce or by the death of her husband, to marry again. Right? So let me read that again. Mathan and Milchi, having married in succession the same woman, had children who were brothers by the same mother, as the Lord did not permit a widow, whether she became such by divorce or by the death of her husband, to marry again. Okay? Mathan, therefore, who traces his lineage from Solomon, first had Jacob by Esther. So they're giving you a name. They give this is a historical document, right? Okay? For this is her name as handed down by tradition. Mathan dying, and Melchi, who traces his descent from Nathan, though he was of the same tribe, and the video gonna break it down, right? Of the same tribe, but of another family, right? Having, as before said, married her and had a son, Eli. Thus then we shall find two of different families, Jacob and Eli, brothers by the same mother. Okay? Of these, the one Jacob, on the death of his brother, marrying his widow, which Eli, became the father of the third, Joseph, the son both by nature and calculation. Wherefore is written, Jacob begot Joseph, but according to the law, he was the son of Eli. For Jacob being his brother raised up seed to him, according to Deuteronomy 25, right? For Jacob being his brother raised up seed to him, wherefore the genealogy trace also through him will not be rendered void. So that's why Joseph is in both lineages, which according to Matthew is given thus, but Jacob begot Joseph, right? Jacob begot Joseph. That's why it's saying it there. But Luke, on the other hand, says, who was the son, as was supposed. For this he also adds, the son of Joseph, the son of Eli, the son of Melchi. For it was not possible to express the legal genealogy more distinctively, so that he entirely omits the expression he begot in a generation like this until the end, having traced it back as far as Adam, which was the son of God. He resolved the whole series by referring back to God. Neither is this incapable of proof, nor is it an idle conjecture for the relative to the Lord according to the flesh, whether to display their own illustrious origin or simply to show the fact, but at any rate, adhering strictly to the truth, have also handed down the following accounts. Okay? All right? So here we go, some more information on the subject. The robbers of Idumea attacking Ascalon, a city of Palestine, left Antipater away captive together with other booty from the temple of Apollo, which is built close to the walls. He was the son of one Herod, a minister of the temple. The priest, however, not being able to pay the ransom for his son, Antipater was trained up in the practices of Idumeans, and afterwards a great favor with Hyrcanus, the high priest of Judea. He was subsequently sent by Hyrcanus on an embassy to Pompey, and having restored the kingdom to him, which had been invaded by Aristobulus, the brother of the latter. And Antipater himself had the good fortune to be nominated by the procurator of Palestine. Antipater, however, having been treacherously slain by those who envy his good fortune, was succeeded by his son Herod. He was afterwards, by decree of the Senate, appointed king of the Jews under Antony and Augustus. His sons were Herod and the other tetrarchs. Those accounts of the Jews also coincide with those of the Greeks. And that's how the priesthood got goddamn jacked up, okay, by this situation where he's raising him up as his own son. But as the genealogy of the Hebrews had been regularly kept in the archives until then, and also of those referred back as far as the ancient proselytes, as for instance to Antioch the Ammonite, the Ruth the Moabites, and to those that were intermixed with the Israelites at the departure from Egypt, and as the lineage of the Israelites contributed nothing to Herod's advantage. I'm going to stop here. No, let me finish reading. He was goaded by the consciousness of his ignoble extraction and committed all their records of their family to the flames, thinking that himself might appear of noble origin by the fact that no one else will be able to trace his pedigree, think of that word again, pedigree, by the public records back to the patriarchs or proselytes and to those strangers that were called Judite. A few, however, of the careful either remembering the names or having it in their power in some other way by means of copies that have private records of their own, glory in the idea of preserving the memory of their noble extraction. One of these were the above-mentioned person called Dio Pasni, an account of the affinity to the family of our Savior, these coming from Nazareth and Kokaba and village of Judea to the other parts of the world, explain the aforesaid genealogy from the book of daily records as faithful as possible. Whether then the matter be thus or otherwise, as far as I and every impartial judge would say, no one could discover a more obvious interpretation. And this then may suffice on the subject, for although it's not supported by testimony, we have nothing to advance either better or more consistent with truth. The gospel together states the truth. At the close of the same epistle, the writer Africanus adds the following. Mathan, whose descent is traced to Solomon, begot Jacob. Mathan dying, Melchi, whose lineage is from Nathan, by marrying the widow of the former, had Eli. Hence Eli and Jacob were brothers by the same mother. Eli dying childless, Jacob raised up seed to him, having Joseph according to nature, belonging to himself, but by the Lord to Eli. Thus Joseph was the son of both. So far, Africanus and the lineage of Joseph being traced. Mary also at the same time, as far as can be, is invents to be one of the same tribe, since by the Mosaic law, intermarriages among different tribes were not permitted, right? The injunction is to marry one of the same kindred and the same family. We marry kindred family of the same tribe, same family, so that the inheritance may not be transferred from tribe to tribe, and this may be sufficed also on the present point. Okay, so that will help the argument of Mary could possibly be a Judite based off the lineage. All right, okay. So now Monique, what's going on? Monique D. Now, that's the book of Eusebius. Let me finish the presentation, and I'm gonna stop at 11. It's gonna be a part 2 of this, okay? Because I gotta go to work. I gotta make $1.15. Now I'm gonna let it play. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning.
In Matthew contradict the genealogy in Luke. In the book of Matthew, chapter 1, it gives a genealogy from Abraham all the way down to Jesus. And in Luke chapter 3, it gives a genealogy from Jesus all the way up to Adam. In Matthew chapter 1, it says that Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. It says here that Jacob begot Joseph, which would mean that Jacob is the father of Joseph. However, in Luke chapter 3, it says that Joseph was the son of Heli, which would mean that Heli is the father of Joseph. So in Matthew chapter 1, it says that Jacob is the father of Joseph, but in Luke chapter 3, it says that Heli is the father of Joseph. So one book says that Jacob is the father, the other book says that Heli is the father. So the question is who's the father? Is Jacob the father, or is Heli the father, or are Jacob and Heli the same person? Well, they can't be the same person because Jacob's father's Methan, Heli's father's Methat. They have different fathers. They have different grandfathers. They have different great-grandfathers. They have different great-great-grandfathers. They have different genealogies. So how could Joseph have two different fathers with two different genealogies? Well, there's a 4th century historian by the name of Eusebius who explains this supposed discrepancy in the genealogy of Christ. In Eusebius's Ecclesiastical History, in Book 1, Chapter 7, page 21, second paragraph, second sentence, he says, Heli and Jacob were brothers by the same mother. Heli dying childless, Jacob raised up seed to him, having Joseph according to nature belonged to himself, but by law to Heli, thus Joseph was the son of both. According to Eusebius, Jacob and Heli were brothers. In Deuteronomy 25:5, it says, If brothers dwell together, and one of them dies and has no son, the widow of the dead man shall not be married to a stranger outside the family. Her husband's brother shall go into her, take her as his wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. And it shall be that the firstborn son which she bears will succeed to the name of his dead brother, that his name may not be blotted out of Israel. Basically, what this scripture verse is saying is that when a man and a woman get married without having any children, and then something happens and the man dies childless, his widow must not marry outside the family, but rather her husband's brother shall take her and marry her and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to her, and the first son that she gives birth to shall carry on the name of the dead brother, even though the living brother is the one who begot the child. The child still must be recognized by law as the son of the dead brother, so that his name is not blotted out from Israel. In the book of Matthew, it says that Jacob begot Joseph. However, in the book of Luke, it says that Joseph was the son of Heli. Eusebius points out here that Luke entirely omits the expression he begot because it's not possible for two different men to have begotten the same child. However, it is possible for one man to have begotten the child while the child is recognized by law as the son of another man, according to the law of Deuteronomy 25:5. And according to the history handed down by Eusebius, this is exactly what happened. Jacob was the living brother, and Heli was the dead brother. Heli and Jacob were brothers by the same mother. Heli dying childless, Jacob raised up seed to him, having Joseph according to nature belonged to himself, but by law to Heli, thus Joseph was the son of both. The question is, though, how could Jacob and Heli be brothers when Jacob's father is Methan and Heli's father is Methet? They have different fathers. They have different genealogies. So how could Jacob and Heli possibly be brothers? Well, Eusebius explains that Methan, whose descent is traced to Solomon, begot Jacob. Methan dying, Methet, whose lineage is traced from Nathan, by marrying the widow of the former, had Heli, hence Heli and Jacob were brothers by the same mother. If you didn't quite catch all that, then let me quickly illustrate what's being said here. According to Eusebius, Methan, whose lineage is traced to Solomon, married a woman by the name of Esther. They together had a son named Jacob. Then something happened to where Methan died. However, since Methan had a son to carry on his name, his widow is free to marry outside the family, and that's exactly what she did. She married a man by the name of Methat, from a different family with a different genealogy, whose lineage is traced to Nathan, the son of David. Then they together had a son named Heli. Thus Jacob and Heli are brothers by the same mother, though they had different fathers with different genealogies. Then, when Jacob and Heli grew up, Heli married a woman, but before they could have any children, Heli died childless. So his widow was required by law not to marry outside the family. So Jacob took her as his wife, fulfilled the duty of a brother-in-law to her, raising up seed to him, having Joseph, who by nature belonged to himself, but by law belonged to Heli. So when the book of Matthew says that Jacob begot Joseph, that's true. But when the book of Luke says that Joseph was the son of Heli, that's also true. Neither of the Gospels have made a false statement. Both accounts are true. All this information can be found in Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History in Book 1, Chapter 7, pages 19 through 21. You can buy this book on Amazon.com for just $20. Now, there's some people who give a much different explanation of the genealogies, and they say things like this.
The church historian Eusebius, writing in the early 4th century, records that separate genealogies appear for the following reason. Jesus had both a biological mother, Mary, and a legal but not biological father, Joseph. Matthew records Jesus' genealogy by the law through his adopted father, Joseph. And Luke reports the genealogy of nature through his biological mother, Mary. According to Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History, Julius Africanus, a 3rd century church father, explained this alleged contradiction in his letter to Aristides.
According to this guy, the genealogy in Matthew is that of Joseph, and the one in Luke is of Mary, which would mean that when the book of Luke says that Joseph was the son of Heli, what it means is that Joseph is the son-in-law of Heli, which would mean that Heli is the father of Mary, and Joseph married his daughter. And in order to back up his claim, he references Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History, Book 1, Chapter 7. Well, I own Eusebius' Ecclesiastical History, and I looked up Book 1, Chapter 7, and according to Eusebius, Heli died childless. He says, Heli, dying childless, Jacob raised up seed to him. So how could Mary be the daughter of Heli when Heli died childless? According to Eusebius, Joseph is not the son-in-law of Heli. He's the son of Heli according to the law. Not according to the law of marriage, but according to the law of Deuteronomy 25:5, the law of a brother-in-law, when a man raises up seed to his dead brother. So I don't know where this guy got his information, but he definitely did not get it from Eusebius like he claims. According to Eusebius, both genealogies are of Joseph. Neither are of Mary.
Okay, so buy the book. Buy the book. Hey, Shalom Mali. Hey, even in this book, hey, the Ebionites, right? I'm about to do a class and I'm gonna get all the records and books that does not says that contradict the virgin birth story. I'm talking about records here. Let me take off my thing here. All right, let me take my thing off here. Let's get the records. Okay, let's get the records. Right, all these records here. All these records I got over here. Where's my other record? I got all kind of records around here, right? I got the records that brothers been out here using, right? All right, where is it? Okay, I got one right here. The Gospel of the Holy 12. Right? Sevius. Right? Here. Where's my other books? I got books. Right? But that's going to be on a whole different topic. That's going to be just showing historical ancient record Bibles. I can show this right quick here. Hold up. Let me show this right quick. And I don't want to do this right now for real, but in Matthew 1, right here. What it says here. Right here. Remember, this is the read it right here. Okay. Right here. See it? Right? Matthew. Right here at the top. There it says, Mathan begot Jacob. Jacob begot Joseph, comma, him, Joseph, to whom was betrothed Mary, the virgin, because he was the only virgin in that lineage. She who bare Jesus the Messiah, right? So when we go down here, because she had Jacob's child. When we go down here, right? Let's highlight that here. Right? Because there's three different texts, right? The Sirach text, right? It says, Jacob begot Joseph. Joseph, to whom was betrothed Mary, the virgin, begot Jesus. That is called the Messiah. And Jacob begot Joseph, and Joseph was called father to Jesus, the Messiah. Right? Then you got the other text says, when his Mary mother was betrothed to Joseph, and before she was given to her husband, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit. Right? Now Joseph plus her husband. So right here, Joseph begot the Messiah. I'm gonna go over these. I'm gonna go over various sources that says otherwise than your King James. Okay, right? Than your King James, and I'm not against the King James. All right, but hold on, we have to get some other texts out here. Take a picture of it and share your screen. Zoom in, Negro. Yeah, that's gonna be on another class. I'm gonna do all that and put all these records, all these Bibles that I have, right? Accounts of Luke, the first chapter, right? Which in here, in all the texts in here, Luke is not even found. Okay, going into that story. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So I'm going to show, this was just about going to genealogy of Matthew and Luke. Why is there two different genealogy reports? And is Luke Mary's genealogy report? No, it's not. It's Joseph. Both is Joseph. Period. No, and I'm going to go into a class on suppose. I'm going to go do a class with every concept that y'all make. Okay? And if you're reading out the Gospel of the Holy 12, you cannot believe in the virgin birth no more at all. It's over for thou. You can't believe in it. It does, and you can't believe in it. It's against it. This is against it. I go in here. It's against it. So yeah, I'm gonna take screenshots and pictures and all that and put them up there. I'll probably do a PowerPoint on the next one. Okay? Okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. But this one was all about, and I can't wait for y'all to debate, Mally. This one was all about the lineage. People saying that Luke is Mary's lineage. It is not. That's a lie. That's Joseph's lineage. Mary's not mentioned in the lineage in the book of Luke. Stop it. Okay? Just stop it. Right? Your nationality is not based off a woman. Okay? Genesis 3. I'm going to deal with the Genesis 3:15 line. They're trying to infuse that with the Messiah. No. I got that broken down. That's going to be crushed. Right? So I'm just going to bring out the information because people was bringing information when they want to bring it. Now it's time for me to bring the information. Luke, the third chapter has nothing to do with Mary. Nothing. Okay? Nothing at all. So we got the historical fathers of it, reports and all that stuff like that for Africaners, all these people over here. You see what I'm saying? Right? And just being able to read and comprehend. Okay? So next class I'm gonna go into all the begot, the born, the birth, the genealogy that I did in the beginning. and then I'm going to show all the records. And if every book that have anything to say about the birth of the Messiah, right, I'm going to bring it out. Even the ones I don't really agree with, like certain books. The Ebionites did not believe that Christ, the Essenes did not believe in a virgin immaculate. Well, they don't want to say immaculate conception. They did not believe in that. It's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's in Eusebius. I can read that right here in Eusebius. They didn't believe that. It's in here. They did not believe that. Hold on. You can get over here in the words. For all the Essenes out there, Shalom down. Y'all can't have a different doctrine than the Essenes that was in the forefathers. Y'all got to believe the same thing. Right? I can't be an Essene if they didn't believe that. I got to believe what the Essenes believe. Let me find it. Where is it? Let me find that joint. Well, I'll find it later if I don't find it right. Yeah, the heresies. Is it this one? Right. The Ebionites, right? And this book goes right along with it. This goes right along with it. The Ebionites, right here. Hold on. Let me take this screen off. Let me take the screen off. Let me take it off right quick. Let me take it off. I'm doing a little extra thing. Only got like a couple more minutes, right? The Ebionites, right? Okay, right here. The heresies of the Ebionites, right? Then you got this book that brother's been teaching out of, right? And it says clearly in this one, clearly it says in this book right here. It says right here. Right here. It says these were and they're going in on corrupted texts in order to prove Jesus' divinity. I really don't want to go on this now because I don't want to go into this subject because I want to have a whole class on this. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Oh, this is your book though, Mally. Right? There are mirage of conflicting readings, but in there we are primarily interested in how the Orthodox Christian scribes forged many origin readings in order to bolster the anti-adoptionist view of the Ebionites and to substantiate the Orthodox view of Jesus' pre-existence and his divinity. We can begin with the fact of how these lying scribes, now don't you agree with the pen of the lying scribes, Mally? Tried to hide the fact that Joseph was actually the biological father, the lying pen of the scribes. The lying pen of the scribes. That's what thou sayest. Oh, man, that's so goddamn funny. All right? Okay? It says, these were the manuscripts empathetically, right? Show that Joseph was Jesus' biological father. That Sirach or the Armenian transcript discovered in St. Catherine Monastery on Mount Sinai gives the following version of Matthew 1:6. Jacob begot Joseph, Joseph to whom the Virgin Mary begot Jesus, who is called the Christ. Then in verse 25, we are told the following. And he, Joseph, had no relation with her, Mary, until she bore him a son. Okay? So I'm going to bring this out later in more depth. But this is in thy book. Thy book, not my book. Okay? And then when you go here to Eusebius, and it goes into the Ebionites, right? It says these were it says the spirit of wickedness, however, being unable to shake some of their love of Christ and yet finding them susceptible of his impressions in other respects, brought them over to his purpose. These were properly called the Ebionites by the ancients. Of those who cherish low and mean opinions of Christ, they consider him a plain and common man and justified only by his advances in virtue, and that he was born of Mary by natural generation, meaning she had sex. Okay, I'm going to go over this even more. All right, I just want to give a taste. Okay, right? So that's what it is, y'all. I want to go over Luke I want to go over Luke, right? Luke 3 and Matthew 1. Okay? So it's 2-hour mark. I'm going to stop. I ain't go too farther than that. All praise and glory to YAHAWASHI, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Okay? You guys have to prove. You can't prove it. Luke is not Mary's lineage, period. And your tribe is not based off your mother at all. Okay? So stop the madness, right? For it's evident that the Lord sprung out the tribe of Judah. His father was of the lineage of David. Even Paul said it, all right, in Romans. Okay? A lot of people don't want to deal with Paul now, but whatever. Okay? All through the Bible, it prophesied that David was going to have a seed that was going to reign and rule on the throne, sit on the throne through his loins. All right? Not through a damn woman that's, and I'm going to deal with that topic because you're talking about the corruptible seed. Y'all twist that. Y'all twist the corruptible seed. Like the woman is not unclean. The scripture tell you that all in Job. So stop the madness. Stop trying to deify YAHAWASHI. He came like everybody else. Without you trying to make up some damn deity, God or something. How the hell am I measure up to a man that ain't had an earthly father? That's ridiculous. But anyway, part 2 is going to be a continuous parts. I have to break down every concept you brothers been talking about. And no, you're not getting on a live. This is going to be a clean, thorough breakdown according to my position on the virgin birth, the VBs. Okay? So you can text and type all the madness you want. It's going to stay right there, buddy. So all praise and glory to the Most High, by Hashem Mashiach YAHAWASHI. Continue your research. Genesis 38, Deuteronomy 25 and 5, the book of Ruth, the 5th chapter. The book of Ruth, right? Matthew 1, Luke 3. It's synonymous. And that's just on this point right here, right? So all praise God to the Most High. You know, I love my brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Okay? So y'all make y'all positions and stand on it. I'm standing on my position and standing on it. And I've not converted, even though I've been amongst the VBs that try to convert me a style out here with multiple battles. It was in vain. Because I changed not. I'm not falling for nobody understanding it because we cool. No, at all, fam. We're not doing that.
I don't have no time to be playing
games. Our new single coming out on the Kingdom album.
No time to be playing games. No,
that's what we talking about. We ain't playing no games.
No playing games. It's not about money. Nah. It's not about things. Not about prestige and titles. Not at all. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. I am an instrument of praise. I am an instrument of praise. I learn no weapon, I'm a pro. I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Not at all. I am not ashamed. When it's time for war, I gotta get back and let it bang. On my octave, stand up. It's real. Royalty in our blood. We is real. Looking for the lost sheep. It's real. Let them know there's only one power. He for Israel. Yeah. It's not a game. I don't have no time to be playing games. I don't have no time to be playing games. No playing games. No playing games.
Sometimes I'm insane, thoughts locked in my brain, like locked in a cage. Been 30 years, man, won't forfeit this game. I pray for a change when faced their each pain. Why things be the same? My tears fall like rain. Sometimes I give up. My flesh be like fuck, like karma, bad luck. But I'm a Hebrew, no time for Hindu. Reap what you so brew. My heart be so true. Misunderstood, bro. Life can be so cruel. Seems like I go through same lessons Hebrew.
I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah, I don't have no time to be playing games. No, no playing games. Nah, no playing games.
Yeah, they freed us from the shackles round the ankles. Yeah. All these chains on a nigga mind. Am I really blind? Are we really faithful? Yeah. Cause real love is so hard to find from a brother. Most of us don't get it from our mothers. So how we figure that these bitches give a book? I don't wasted plenty books on a nut that wasn't even mine. Now I see the book, nigga shit coming from a mile. You can pull that on over to the curb. Drive through clothes, I ain't got no time to serve. I ain't playing games, I ain't working up a nerve. And it's a damn shame, but it just ain't my concern. You niggas better learn something. Yeah.
I don't have no time to be playing games. Nah, I don't have no time to be playing games. No, no playing games. Nah, no playing games. I don't
Hey, man,
have
all
no
praise goes to the
time
Most
be
High.
playing games.
Time for playing games.
I don't have no time to
Shout out to Eminem.
playing games.
Shout out to Lab Text, the Father Sar, for killing that third verse, man. Going home, body, baby. Yeah. All right, I want to shout out to Honor and Humility, Malachi Maccabee, Judite Israel, all my VBs. Jeremiah VBs, is VBs. Elijah VBs, about the VBs. The attack of the VBs. Boy, they came in here hard body, boy. The VBs. They try to get us down. Rushing. Woo! All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Give all praise to God to YAHAWASHI, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. And this only the beginning. I'm going now. It's over. It's over. I'm gonna do 2 hours minimum. No further than that. It's over. It's on and popping. All right. So all praise to God to YAHAWASHI, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Have a good night.
Have no time to be playing games. No playing games.